X-Man energy detected. Ground base up ahead.
I wonder what exactly really meant.
Let's capture it first. Let's go.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Sonic Heroes Team Dark. In the last episode, we fought our way through the Casino Zone and through the Robot Carnival at the end of it. This episode, we are onto the Rail... It's not called the Rail Zone. Canyon Zone. Actually, they don't have any names. I came up with those names when I first started the series with Team Sonic oh so long ago. God, it feels like a bloody lifetime ago, actually, that I was first doing this with Team Sonic, with the visualizer and everything, because it was constrained to non-widescreen to 4:3, so I had to fill the space with a visualizer. That's no longer in it, because the actual game takes up more space on, as in more screen space on PC.
Quite an engineering feat.
Why was I mentioning that? Yeah, no, so it actually doesn't, the zones don't have names. I just came up with them for ones that sounded right. So I was like, Canyon Zone? Sure, it all takes place in a canyon. Forest Zone, Airship Zone, Spooky Zone. I think I actually called it the... What did I call it? Did I call it the Spooky Zone? No, surely I wasn't that. That me. I would have given it a name like the Haunted Zone or Mansion Zone or something like that. I always think of it as the Spooky Zone, though. Too spooky. Oh! That's not very nice. Oh my god, there's like no loading time when you die as well. I'm just... Actually, I'm nearly choking just because I'm having to drink that quickly. Because obviously I can't drink during normal bits of gameplay because I'm talking way too much and you need both hands to play this game really. Well, actually, oh no, you'd even do for the grinding bits because you need to hold X with one hand and then steer with the other hand. But yeah, like there are just, with the brief moments I've got, like, I think because I'm used to playing this on my old computer that loads a lot more slowly. Wow, my old operating system / drive, which loads a lot more slowly, so I'm just like, I've died. Time for a brief bevy. And I can't do that anymore, so I'm like, when it suddenly loads way faster than I'm expecting and I nearly choke. Cool story, Doctor. Thanks for sharing. So as ever, time for my usual bitching about the rail controls on this, that they are kind of janky, but so... Whoa, what the? I wasn't expecting to come over here at all. This is new. I do like it when they throw you new stuff. I've said that quite a lot, but I'm going to continue saying it because it still holds up true. Holds up true? Holds true. That's a phrase, isn't it? God, I'm losing my grip on what's real. It's only been an hour and a half of Sonic Heroes. You can't play a lot of this game in, in one sitting, otherwise you do get the madness. Get out of my damn way, you silly clown! The fuck? Oh my god, that was a grueling ordeal. But yeah, so grinding, I realise, is one of those things, much like... Use your words, Doctor. Much like... Toilet Town, where I always thought you had to hold forwards in order to go forwards. You don't. You just, as long as you hold X, it's fine. So basically you just hold X and steer left and right. And I think that's why I always used to lose speed on those sections, because I was holding forwards, which was then decreasing my ability to steer. But you actually just need to do left and right. And that actually might make the jumping to transition between tracks easier. Oh, this is one of the first times we see Rouge on our own, because we've dropped the other two off on switches. So, Rouge's weird ability, if she presses... Oh, that's a really cool piston underneath. Well, it's not really a piston, is it? What is that? How is that functioning? Because that's just turning up and down motion into more up and down motion. I thought at first it was like a kind of cam thing, but it's not. Anyway, Rouge's thing, if you press X with her when she's on her own, much like Tails does, she throws fake rings, which if any enemies walk into them, will stun them. That almost never comes up in the game, because you're very rarely playing as a fly type alone unless the other two have been killed in a team battle, but if they have, you're going to die anyway, because as we saw back in episode 2, and as I've constantly said throughout this entire series... Oh! Fly! Fly, damn it! Oh no, I couldn't fly because I'd already technically switched to speed type. Well, at least I literally just got a... No, that's the problem! My controller's actually out of batteries. And I can't even pause. Nope, ESC doesn't pause. Does enter? There we go. Fortunately, I always keep spare batteries on hand. Ah, fuck. God, it's really hard to get batteries out of an Xbox controller. Like, the only way I can do it is like shaking it and just kind of going... Eventually they kind of pop out because I can't get a good grip on them. But I'm so happy I finally made the decision to switch to rechargeable batteries, because I always just used to use disposable ones, because I guess I never used controllers a huge deal. Well, so I originally had Xbox controllers which... There we go. Come on. Wonderful. And there we go. Oh, shit. Oh, no, we're okay. Yeah, so originally I had controllers which so either USB ones or ones that had a like USB charging thing. The USB charging ones now just no longer have the ability to hold power, so they have to be basically plugged in anyway. And so I don't actually know. Definitely one of the wired Xbox controllers I have is unofficial. The other one also may well be. See here, I'm just holding X, not forwards, and it keeps me perfectly accelerated as long as I remember to lean into turns properly. And this actually makes the rail stuff a lot more fun. Because it's actually playing it properly. Whoop, whoop, whoop. I want to do some crazy loopy shit here. That was entertaining. Oh dear. And we're back to where we should be. And we got a Team Blast. So all of the wired controls I have, their sticks really don't work very well. As in, they physically respond fine. Oh, I meant to get that for Rouge, but I got it for Omega by accident. They physically work fine, but the issue is they kind of don't have the right response range. They basically can't... So one of mine can't do diagonals very well. It kind of goes from pointing all the way left to pointing all the way up, and that's it. Those are the only options you really kind of get. It doesn't do diagonal that great. The other one just... Though it's technically called an analog stick, it isn't analog. It's kind of either... No matter where you're holding it, it either registers as being held all the way or not being held at all. And there's kind of no in-between. And both are problematic for that reason. So I never used... so I've only recently switched to using wireless, as in the fully wireless controllers a lot. Because I got a really nice thing. Bloody hell, this is handy. It was... I think it is an official Microsoft thing. I think it's only like a tenner on Amazon. Was just a adapter, which basically just plugs into the USB on my computer, and it just converts... Well, it doesn't convert, but it's a USB receiver for wireless controllers, and you plug this thing into one USB port, and you can connect 4 wireless controllers to it. And it's great, because it also means if we're doing 4-player stuff with the other lads, I only have to... Oh, here we go. I only have to have one USB port used for controllers rather than have to use like 4 of them. Oh, that's cool. So that's... Oh, I don't feel like that was fair. I got unduly shredded there. And I'm missing this really cool bit with the helix. Whoop. You can also ride on those helix parts. It's great fun. And doink. But yeah, it's nice that it only takes up one USB slot for 4 controllers. But that means that, yeah, I've been using wireless controls a lot more, and then I finally switched to actually, I bought some, splashed out and bought some decent rechargeable batteries and battery recharger, and it's saved my life. Just because, A, it means I'm not buying as many batteries, but it also means, B, I have 2 main, I think I've got multiple sets, but I can't tend to keep 2 in serves at any time. I have one that's actually in my main controller that I use. What the? There we go. I've got one that's in the main controller I use, and then one set that I always keep charging. And then, so what I did now is I've swapped them out. And that's a really nice system. And it just means that I always have... Oh! That's interesting. I thought there was a cart section. Where the 3 of you are on the little cart, but apparently there's not. Did I really just talk about batteries for like the last half of that level? God. That commentary's boring as shit sometimes. Why do people watch this? Neither could I with that commentary. I totally agree, Omega. Gamma and Beta have got way better commentary than I have.
It's starting to look like a base.
Here we go.
Prepare to infiltrate.
Maybe it's on this level, the cart bit. Because it's definitely on Team Chaotix and Team Sonic. And I have a feeling it's on with these guys, but maybe it's only... Yeah, it is on this level, I think. Well, we'll find out. Maybe it's like the bloody bridge with the cars on it, which I apparently imagined in the city zone. But yeah, that medal getting thing is one of the very few rests I get in this series now that I have the super duper loading times. Like, you'll have seen them on the footage. Like, it's not... Oh. It's not just me. That is ludicrously fast, and even... Yeah, even a normal SSD can probably barely get it loaded that fast. I must say, I do love this NVMe thing. It's like, so... When I initially got an SSD a couple of years ago, got a Kingston one. I like Kingston's RAM. Their drives perhaps slightly less. Ooh, there's a secret thing down here. But yeah, so I got an SSD and I wasn't super impressed by it. Like, it was like, so, everyone was like, oh my god, it reduces your game's loading times, like your system's loading time and stuff to 0. I was like, it doesn't.
Must be the drive.
I think it's partly because I've always had a lot of drives. Like, I've got 5 drives on my computer at the moment, which they all have a function for different things. So I do kind of need all of them, and that means the system's always a bit slow to boot up. And I was like, so my system load time wasn't great, and also the load time on games wasn't. I wasn't amazed by it on an SSD. But what it was great for is you fire up your computer, and then once Windows loads and you kind of log in, that was it. You're then like ready to go, and that was one of the things I really liked about my original SSD. Was just not that everything loads super fast, but it's just a lot zippier. That it's just kind of like you load, and then you're ready to go. It wasn't like sluggish for the time immediately after loading, which mechanical drives often kind of like seemed to be. But this new one, the NVMe one, so it's really weird the reason why they had to be developed, because basically we got to the point where the limiting factor on SSDs wasn't anything to do with actual drive speed, it was to do with the connection to the motherboard, because they used SATA, which was designed for mechanical drives, and as such had limitations for an SSD. Like, for example, it couldn't read in parallel, it could only read one stream of data at the same time, because the idea was mechanical hard drives can only physically be reading from one point at a time. So it's like, why would you need a system that can read in parallel from a drive that can't read in parallel? But SSDs can read in parallel kind of hugely. So with that and a number of other similar considerations in mind, a new system was designed. And as I say, the NVMe drives, they're tiny. Like a 250 gig one is like, oh bloody hell, ow! Oh, that was fortunate that I landed on here. Yeah, it's like, what, 20 centimeters long, if that. Like, it's a tiny little thing. Or is it? It's 22 millimeter, 220 millimeters long, or 82 millimeter? 82, how does that sound? I think it's that. Right, I know what the size it is 2288, 2282. I think that's width and depth millimeter-wise. Not sure. Either way, it's small, and it looks like RAM, except it's got a slot at the end. That's what I wanted to line it up for, I think, yep. Except, yeah, it's got a slot at the end. I'll put a picture of one up, and they kind of plug directly onto your motherboard. But the drives themselves use the same technology as SSDs, like they're no faster than an SSD, but whereas SSDs use the old SATA interface, these ones use a custom designed interface, and god, they are blisteringly fast. I've been so impressed with this one. So hey, if you're having problems with drive speed, or if you've got a modern motherboard and are thinking of upgrading drive anytime soon, get one of these Samsung 960 EVOs. They are fucking brilliant. I can so heartily recommend them for just like, my whole system boots in like 5 seconds, and just, you've seen how fast the loading times are on this game, and it's not quite as wildly exaggerated, but like for modern games, loading times are still pretty bloody quick on this drive. And they're completely silent, obviously being an SSD, and they're just, it's really nice, and I've been thoroughly impressed by it. I just want to say as well, this episode was absolutely not sponsored by Samsung. But I think for SSDs, Samsung are my go-to. I definitely have like go-tos for certain companies, for certain things at certain companies even. So, for example, this is going to be a light dash section, isn't it? Yep, call it. So if it's mechanical drives, it's Western Digital all the time. If it's SSDs, it's Samsung. If it's RAM, it's Kingston. Like, I have my companies that I go to. Because yeah, I think Western Digital do. I think they do SSDs, but I've never investigated them because everyone raves about the Samsung ones, and I tried them out, and I can see why people rave about them because it's been really impressive. But no, the main thing that got me with Western Digital for mechanical drives is the 7-year warranty on the drive I currently have. Like my main, basically the drive that this is recording to, my main recording and editing drive has a 7-year warranty on it. I'm just like, if it fails during 7 years, that means I get it back. I get a free drive, which is awesome. But also the fact they're giving you that warranty on it means they expect it won't die within 7 years, which is amazing. I had one of the Western Digital drive die on me. It was a 500GB one, but it was 9 years old. And I'd used it fairly consistently for 9 years, so I'm bloody impressed it lasted that long. And I'm like, no, actually, at that point I wasn't storing anything important on it because I knew like this drive's gonna die any day now. And indeed, it did.
But a bit scary.
This has been a very long level, and I've been talking complete shit for this entire world. I had a level where I talked about batteries, and now at a level where I talk about computer components. God, I'm a boring bastard, aren't I? Am I? I don't know. Like, see, this is the thing. I have one of the abilities that serves me well. That was very close. As a commentator, is the fact that I have a lot of stuff I'm interested in, and I can talk about a lot of stuff for quite a while. Like, people who know me know this well. Like, occasionally I will just go onto Wikipedia and just look into something. Oh, balls! Oh, I've killed Eggman. So these ones can be... Not Eggman. Omega. These ones can actually be broken. If you do enough damage to them, they break. Apparently not, though. There we go. God, maybe they need quite a lot of damage. There we go. I always think they can all be broken, but apparently it's only those ones. If I pull this lever... No idea what that did. Maybe we'll find out later. But yeah, so... Oh, it opens this gate. We did find out later. Look at that. Foreshadowing. But yeah, sometimes I will just like spend an evening's a bit of an exaggeration, but I'll spend an hour or two at least just on Wikipedia, just reading about something and then just following links and reading about more shit. And then, like, next time someone sees me, they're like, how's things going? It's like, yeah, really cool. So, I was reading about the German Empire and how it wasn't really an empire and how we used the word Reich to mean it, but Reich doesn't mean empire. Reich means realm, which doesn't imply an emperor. It means just more like a kingdom. And then people are like, why do you know this? I'm like, because I find a lot of boring shit in, well, shit that is generally considered boring, interesting. And sometimes I go down a rabbit hole of learning, and I learn shit. And then I think I then... Ooh, that was interesting. I then kind of parrot that back when I'm on recording, that I will just sometimes just talk about shit that I know, and a lot of times it's stuff that's relevant to my job, so any stuff about, like, statistics! Oh, balls. Yeah, so a lot of the stuff I rant about and about, like, statistics or programming or animal behavior and that kind of thing, they're all... That's because that's my job. But there's a lot of just random shit I can talk about. Like, for example, batteries. I think... I can't get past that. I can't get past the fact that I literally just talked about... I use rechargeable batteries now for, like, minutes. It's one of the weird things with Sonic Heroes, because as you've noticed, the game doesn't give me a huge amount to go with, and by now... Well, as I said 2 episodes ago, I don't know how many people who are watching this have never... watched Sonic Heroes before of my series, but I'm kind of assuming by now most people have. This is the kart section. It is on this level. I'm not going mad. But yeah, so I'm not talking a great deal about what's going on in the game because I kind of assume that people are familiar with it by now because I think people aren't exactly going to be joining the series at this stage, but maybe they are. Maybe I should be talking about what's going on. So this is the kart. Left and right moves, A jumps, hold down to slow down, or to X to slow down? Yeah, X to slow down, and let go of X to speed up again. When you get hit, you'll first lose your ability to control your speed, you'll then lose your ability to steer, you'll then lose your ability to jump. So, don't lose people off the karts. Wow, we can apparently do it faster than I did it. Don't actually know how you do that faster. Oopsie daisy. There we go. Oopsie daisy. I meant to say oopsie daisy. But I fucked that one up pretty hard. What the? Where am I? Is this a Team Dark exclusive bit? This all looks very weird. It certainly isn't new. Certainly isn't new. Certainly isn't familiar. There we go. The opposite of... Do you ever have that when you try and say something and you say literally the exact opposite of what you meant to? Did that open the way? Oh yes, and open that little ring box as well. Wonderful. This is, I think, new. If this looks like it's going to lead into a cannon, and I thought there were only 2 cannon sections on this level. That didn't open the box. Not the box, the door. So, is there something around here? Up here. What's going on? What do you say?
All 3 switches may have to be activated.
All 3? Oh, is there a 3rd one here? Oh, look at that. This is new. I have literally no memory of this. I have completed this game with every team, so I would have done this at some point, but there's a 3rd cannon section. Oh, 3 of those squiddly doos is mean, because 3 of them, as we learnt during Robot Carnival even, 3 of those can literally kill you. There we go, it's taking a while for someone to hop into it.
We're finally here.
Well, sounds like we're nearly there then. Oh, is this one where you like shoot into Eggman's face and blow it up? Yeah, it is. I think Team Sonic has that, but I don't think it's the third one. I think it's only the second one. Let's ignore these guys and finish. That was a long level. That was like 9 minutes, and I didn't fuck up that much. Yeah. Anyway, moving on to the boss, and the intro music to this boss is fucking brilliant. I couldn't even beat Gamma and Beta.
I'm ashamed to call myself a treasure hunter.
Well, at least it's not Omega for once.
We got him!
Capture him first. Then you can have your revenge.
Affirmative.
Ready all cannons! Open fire!
Oh, Egg Albatross has got. So, I've mentioned this many times. The music in this game is fucking cock on. Like, whatever else you say dodgy about this game, you can, which is a lot. Like the controls and the look of it, and the plot and the voice acting. One of the things you cannot criticize really is, if you like this kind of music, which I do, as a video game person, is the music in it. Oh, speaking of video game person music, so I discovered a whole new genre of music in the last couple of months. So, firstly, has anyone ever played... Well, why am I asking it as a question? You're not going to be able to answer, because by the time you answer, I've already recorded this long ago. I'm in the past. Hello, future people. Stop being weird, Doctor. Finish the point. If you've ever played the game Crypt of the Necrodancer, it's a fucking fantastic game. Me and the boy have done a series in it. If you're interested in a rhythm-based dungeon crawler, go and watch Let's Play Crypt of the Necrodancer with the Doctor and the boy. Because it's basically a game that's controlled by music. So every movement you do, be it attacking... Oh, ballsack! So my point was going to be, any kind of action you do, be it like moving or attacking or anything like that, has to be done on the beat of the music, otherwise you're penalised for it. All enemies move with a certain pattern on the beat, and it's really clever and great fun. But one of the things it has is an amazing soundtrack. That's like, it's an 8-bit style of music, but very kind of like funky and very catchy. And I recently learned, because I was listening to the soundtrack by Danny Baranovsky, I was listening to it on Spotify, and Spotify was like, if you like this, you may also like other things and this kind of thing. And I learned of a whole genre called glitch funk. Yeah. And it's brilliant, because it's all just that kind of stuff. It's stuff that's... A lot of it seems to be based on early video game music, so it has a lot of kind of bleepy bloopy sounds, but not necessarily. It never gets, for me, well, okay, it can, but the bits of it that I've liked so far never get too, like, just sounding like a mess of sound. There's always some kind of, like, overriding musicality to it. It's got a lot in common with... I'm going to go and blame Music Man here about other shit I've discovered recently. It was the bloody boy. He got me into this shit called Electro Swing. He started this because he came to my house and insisted on putting Electro Swing on. I was like, initially, what is this shit? And I was like, actually, it turns out this is fantastic. And because Electro Swing is basically the beat and, for want of a better phrase, funkiness, the kind of syncopated funk of electronic music, but mixed with the kind of musicality of jazz. And it's, yeah, so then me and the boy went to see a random electro swing band in a... Oh my god, every time. But now, what I was going to say is, yeah, so we ended up at this random club in the middle of London. That was basically like, I think it was like under the arches of a bridge or something like that, because the room itself was quite small, and then had like, at the far end, boink, had like, oh, that was a weird camera angle. Like, the stage was literally under an arch, like a stone arch, that was, and it was underneath like a railway bridge. So it was really cool. And yeah, we were seeing this electro swing band called the Swing Rowers. They are also on Spotify, and they're actually great. I would recommend, if anyone's curious about the genre, that's as good a place to start as any. But yeah, it was great fun, and then from there I've kind of got more into this electro swing and then this glitchy noise nonsense, which is not my kind of thing. Like, my background is in basically music-wise, I like, wow. I'm quite flexible in my music taste. Like, bits of like classic rock, bits of prog, bits of modern indie stuff, metal, emo shit. Yeah, I think I'm actually really flexible when it comes to music tastes. A lot of game music, a lot of classical music, that kind of thing. But certainly, like, this kind of stuff that's almost like... It's got a kind of dubsteppy feel of being, like, noise or, like, glitchy sounding at times. But I feel like it does it a lot more musically. If you like Dash Along here, you can build up a Team Blast really quickly, which is what I'm doing, and then I'll wait for him to charge into me, which he will do if I wait here long enough, and then get a good Team Blast on him. But yeah, that was a fun night as well, because the boy let's say bet me. He certainly said, I was like, right, we were semi-celebrating, because he'd made a good career achievement recently. So we were celebrating, I was like, oh, hey, let's go out. Oh, fuck, I nearly missed that. So I was like, hey, let's get bevied. And he was like, oh, yeah. I bet you we won't be able to get drunk in central London, it's so expensive. And I was like, oh, here we fucking go. We did manage to get very drunk in central London. Had a horrifying thing of, so I paid for most of the stuff that night with contactless. Contactless is great, because I can just pay for anything under 30 quid just by booping my card to a machine. Don't have to enter a PIN or anything. Quite handy. Also means I can send other people to the bar with my card. Which means I pay for a round, but I don't have to physically get it. It's great. But the issue is, contactless stuff doesn't appear on my bank statement until at least 3 working days. Sometimes longer. So the next week, I was like, oh, I came back from London. I was like, I didn't even actually spend that much for a night out in central London. And then just that week, I just watched my bank balance. Just every day was just like... dropping down. It was good fun, though. Anyway, that is the end of the Canyon Zone. I hope you will join me next episode for the Jungle Zone. Thank you very much, and good day.
Why not just give it up, Doctor?
Let's go.